Guess what time it is? Well, I don't need to tell you. When you see this set and you see this pretty face, you know that it's time for Sit Chat, brought to you by Ceed Academy. Again, my name is Blessings Masugu for those who don't know, and this is one of your favorite vodcasts or podcasts, whatever you like to call it, where we don't just educate, inform, and entertain you. We also try to debunk some news that are false about business, management. There are a lot of things that people carry about that are not even true. This is where you get to know the fact and the truth. So once again, welcome to Sid Chat with me, Blessings Musugu, and this is another episode. And what we'll be talking about today is one very, very controversial topic, and that is payment for value or payment for experience. I know, right? I know you're interested to hear it. So with me, as usual, is none other than a marketing guru, a business consultant / expert, a masterclass guru. Before I don't want to blow his trumpet too much, but I am talking about none other than Mr. Ajibola Bamidele. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
You like that intro, right?
Honestly, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, it's good to have you again on another episode.
Yeah, nice to have you.
And today, right, this is a very interesting topic because
Extremely.
I and my friends and, some other people who are in business, we've had this conversation time and time again. And that is the conversation about what should a person be paid for? Your experience or your value? Or your value and experience, as the case may be. And that's why we need you to help us understand this and dissect it as you always do. You're the business doctor. So let's operate on this.
So when you talk about value and experience, so what I hear is value and longevity. Because people feel experience is how long I stay.
Yeah.
Because it's possible that you have longer years also that you lack experience. So there are three constructs now: value, experience, longevity, number of years. So what are we talking about?
So let's take it one after another.
Okay.
Let's start with experience. What does experience mean? Because some people, when they tell you that, oh, I'm experienced, don't you know I've been doing it? A lot of times it's followed by, don't you know I've been doing it for 20 years? I've been doing it for 30 years. That means I'm experienced. So does experience mean that you've been at it for centuries? Or does it mean that you know the craft regardless of how long you've been? Maybe 6 months, maybe a year, 2 years. What exactly is experience?
So let me first ask you a question.
Hey God.
What determines how old a car is? Is it the year of manufacturing or the usage?
I think it's a year of manufacturing.
Okay, so imagine you have a car that was manufactured in 2020. No, 2015. And I've only gone 4,000 miles. I have one that was manufactured in 2021, and I've gone 200,000 miles. Which one is a newer car?
The former.
The what?
Before, the one you mentioned.
Meaning that it's not the year of manufacturing.
Okay, it's how worn out it is.
It's how you've used that car. So if you've used someone well in 2 years and you have someone that's been working for 8 years that have not been used.
Useless.
Useless. Used. Then that person is useless. Useless. Fantastic. Yeah, I love that. So it's useless. Useful. No, it's useful. Right. So you want to pay. So when you want to see a car that is still new, you look at the usage. So if you've worked and you were used well, then you gather a lot of experience. So it's not how long you've been working. It's how much you've been involved at doing. So you might have 7 years of work, but you've covered 4,000 miles. And you have 2 years of work, and you've covered 40,000 miles. So that means you know more. You've covered a lot of things. In Nigeria, I know people just sit and some people don't mind sitting on the same thing over and over again and doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result in insanity. So how can you be doing receiving guests as a customer service officer, and you've been receiving guests. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
Same tone, same line.
Then you've been doing that for 10 years. But somebody just started in 2 years and has been receiving guests, chats people on Instagram, knows how to do content writing, knows how to do a bit of reels for the company, knows how to do a bit of, that person came with a lot of value.
Yeah.
Now, but you joined them 10 years ago when there was no reels. But you feel you should be the head of the department, you should be the highest paid. But this girl, this new person, can do reels, can do a lot of things, so can add value in different places. Who should be paid more?
The new person.
Because if you want to contract all those things out, the person that will do reels, you pay. The person that will do content writing, you pay. The person that will do this. So that person is a lot of staff in one.
Yeah.
So who do you want to pay more? Someone that has been in that department for 10 years, doing the same thing, hello, good morning, or someone that brought in value, relevant value. And I also wanted to ask you a question that
I don't like it when you ask me.
I was thinking about this when we were coming here, and I said, what determines what determines when you say a drug is expired? What are you talking about?
It has exceeded the duration.
The potency of that drug. They say this drug, that means every human being has an expiry date. So even when you're staying, that skill you have in the place of work has an expiry date. The same way a drug that used to be potent, and they will say between 2020 and 2023, the components in this drug is potent. So anybody that wants to buy this drug for any kind of thing, it has value. So pay for it. But by the time this drug is in 2024, then you should trash it. So many people are meant to actually be trashed in the workplace. And that's what happens most of the time, because Nigerian businesses don't like trashing. And we feel this sense of loyalty. This person has been with me from the start of the business. I cannot, even when it's not adding value anymore. So we have a lot of expired drugs in our organizations that is not adding value. It's just occupying space, but is the longest on the shelf. So we cannot throw it out again. But there's a new drug that is just manufactured in 2023. And it's effective. What drug do you want to pay for?
Okay, but let's try and look at it from this angle. I mean, I understand that.
Okay.
But then there's also the angle of at the point of recruitment, right? Let's say two people approach an organization. One is 16-year-old, and he looks like a novice. He wants the job, but he doesn't, based on his experience, he hasn't done much. He hasn't covered a lot. But another 50-year-old man comes and is listing, I've worked with this, I've worked with that, I've worked with this. At that point, you don't know that the 16-year-old is tech savvy, knows how to use social media, knows how to do, graphics and all of that. And then this other man, on the other hand, you don't know that he has stopped growing. And by stop growing, I mean, he's just this stereotypical kind of person. Like, he's just doing the same thing with different companies. But because of his age, a lot of people tend to respect him. So, I mean, at that point, who do you hire? Because you're seeing a 16-year-old boy and you're thinking, will this boy be experienced enough, or will he know what he's doing?
Okay, so let me give you another perspective to this. Okay, so let's take, for example, a guy can code. And you have another person in the IT department that doesn't know how to code, but has been in the IT department when they were using maybe Fortran. And the guy just know how to do networking, and that's what he can do. You see, at the top, that's why sometimes you see that people at the top don't necessarily have to know how to code. Because the skills we are talking about that guy is bringing from experience is also how to handle people. That guy that is coding, the guy might doesn't know how to, it knows how to be effective alone, but this is a department that I want to run. So it depends on the skill. There's no cast and stone in this question. Okay, so if we're looking at, I would rather want to pay someone to manage a department that have history of having to work with diverse people.
But what if he's not so efficient? I mean, the only thing he can do is work with people, but he's not efficient in terms of bringing in more sales, using social media and things like that.
You see, if you have the wrong manager that cannot manage at the top, It's not about the technical things again. So it depends on where we're considering this experience. At the task, but it would be nice if that person also have upskilled so that you won't be an experienced fool. You want to be experienced and knowledgeable so that you can relate with those guys and they can respect you. There's something we call expert power. If your team perceive that you lack expertise, they start disrespecting you. So at the top, you don't only need experience, but you need experience. But the young guy should not be placed at the top because he lacks that people's skill. You kill the department. So, but the person that is also experienced, you should look for someone that is experienced and also knowledgeable about the critical things that matter to your business today.
What if the only options you have at that point are those two?
I will go for experience. You know why? Because the other guy is meant to work alone. The other guy knows how to work with other people. And to create a sane environment at the top, to coordinate, you see, performance drops when you have the wrong person at the top. They don't have to deal with different kind of people. So people's skill at the top is huge beyond the technical skills. So if you're looking at it from that angle, but if I'm considering the experienced person and they're fighting for the same lower technical role, I will hire because that guy is more useful to me. I need to code. But if we're looking for a senior role, then I would rather want to go for experience and try to see someone that can work with others to bring the best out of them. So some leaders are so good that even when they lack the technical skills, the people that have the technical skills want to work for them. Because they make them feel we are collaborating. They make them feel calm. It's not about me, it's about us. So, and I'm there, I don't know all. You know some? Man, I need you on my team. And that's why as a manager, you don't have to know everything about everything. You can just know 10% of everything. But you don't have to have 100% knowledge about everything. So when you look at, it depends on what we are fighting for. Are we looking at the technical role? Then I want to pay for someone that can do that job. But coordinating the department, I want to look at experience.
I think this will bring me to another perspective that I would like for us to look at this from. So is there a possibility that managers can mix value and experience? Now, I know that sometimes they don't want to hire two people for a role or things like that. So, but in a case like this, right, you have someone who is experienced but doesn't exactly have the technical know-how. But then you have someone who is inexperienced and maybe doesn't know how to work with a team, but has what it takes to move the business to another level. Is there no possibility that you hire them both?
So please, let us separate experience and skills. I'm talking about experience with people's skills. So when you add, what we're looking at is, let's take, for example, you're looking for technical skills, communication skills, emotional intelligence skills, cognitive reasoning skills, so critical thinking skills. So you have those skills. This person you're talking about, that's maybe the younger one, might only score 1/4 because the guy only has that one experience, that technical skills alone. The other person you're talking about might have length of years of service, but might still not have those skills. So I'm not saying your number of years will make you have people skill, will make you have communication skills, will make you have emotional skills. Where I came from, my mother would say, "Oh, dagba, oh, danu," meaning that you can be at the top and you're still talking like a child.
Baby, yeah.
So that's why I said we should separate. I've been working for 10 years and you're still losing your temper at work. I've been working for 15 years. And you're the one that you're still behaving like a child. So you lack the skills you require at the top. So I rather want to hire that person that is technical because you're even at the top, you lack all the skills. So why don't I just put the technical guy and achieve results since you are the top lack the skills I'm looking for? So we just always assume that the longer you stay, the more
you know.
skills you have. But experience is beyond that. So I'm seeing someone that is experienced as someone that has experience in people skill, experience in communication skills, experience in critical reasoning skills. So that's experience. But you might have length of years and you don't have those skills.
But then again, why is it that companies do not exactly try to upskill these, let's say, managers that have been there for long, have been doing it for 10 years, they know that this person is still lacking some things, right? And maybe the person doesn't know that he needs to upskill. Is there no way the managers can help?
Okay, so I feel we should first draw this away from, my answer will be from the environment we live now. You see, before now, if you don't upskill your managers, you can still survive in business. Because don't forget, someone can have only BSc in those days and survive and grow to the top. But it's changing. Because the marketplace, look at what everybody's coming up with new innovative products. So you cannot say we only have one product that we've been managing for long. There are new products that you need to learn how to manage. So now, experience are expired. That's the problem. What's happening now. So if you have experience in what we're not using anymore, then you lack experience. That's also, okay, so that guy that just learned how to, a young guy, 21, that has experience, 2 years experience in what we are using now, the skill we need now. But someone had been working for 15 years, but while he was working with old typewriter. But now, in the last 6 months, we introduced the new one that the other guy that just started working had been working on for 2 years. So when it comes to experience, who has more experience? The younger guy, because he has been working on that particular thing for 2 years, even though the older one has been in the department, but he just started working with those things in 6 months. So when it comes to experience, that younger one is more experienced when it comes to that skill than the other one that has only 10 years wrong or useless experience or expired experience and only has 6 months in the new experience. So this experience, I don't know whether I'm getting it, but so it's about how long have you been working on this? And I know sharp young guys that have been working on coding and technology for 4 years constantly. And the head of the department just started learning how to code after 50 years, and he's just 1 year in it. Then the most experienced is a guy that has 4 years. So we're not looking at number of years. We're looking at how far have you been exposed to this skill. So as regards this skill, if you've not been exposed to it for so long, and you've gone in age, you don't still have experience. You lack experience for that particular skill.
Okay, so bringing it back now to the comparison, let's say that someone who, regardless of the age now, 2 people are working in a company, right? And one has been working there for, let's say, 6-7 years. Okay. And usually people get pay raise based on, maybe how long you've been with them and things like that. But let's say there's this other person who's been there for 2 years. And because of how well he or she has built and grown themselves, they've learned everything they should know about the current technology, how to use it, how to harness social media to the benefit of the company, and the company generally is seeing massive results. You can actually point to this person that this is the reason we're seeing that much result. Who should get the pay raise first?
So number one, it also depends on the culture of the organization. But any organization that doesn't reward for competence in this age will soon become a dinosaur. Because if you're rewarding people for longevity, how long they've been staying for 7 years, and you're not getting value, then you're going to have unnecessary overhead. That's why when companies want to restructure, they first take out all the old, because those old heads are not adding value. So you cannot totally say they should not take out all those guys, 7 years. How can you play? Okay, 7 years gate man. Okay, no, 7 years nanny. No, 7 years cleaner. I've been cleaning your house for 7 years. You now got a young person that can teach your child, can do after school, that can clean your house, that can make some decisions when you're not there. That also did a bit of auxiliary nursing, can administer some things, but still 2 years. That person, to even hire that person, is going to be costlier than the person that all she's been doing for you for 7 years is to clean the floor. So, or you want to say because he has been cleaning the floor for 7 years, it must be the highest paid. So any company that is rewarding people not for skills and value they can bring to the marketplace, that company will soon become a dinosaur. And that's why companies are top heavy at some point, and they need to downsize because of that.
True. And I also feel like, let's say a person who is bringing in massive results to the company sees that because of the company culture, they don't give me a pay raise, but they're giving this person that has been here. It will demotivate
you. Lose them.
Yeah,
you lose them. So are you willing to lose value
for experience.
This is the issue of politics. No, value for longevity.
Okay,
You
longevity.
see, don't let us call experience.
Okay, no, because a lot of people, because I'm saying experience because a lot of people don't understand the context of experience. They feel like because I've been here for long, I'm experienced.
That's the challenge we have in Africa. We believe that you have white hair means you are intelligent. Because when someone with white hair, you say, this person is intelligent. Well, you can have white hair and you're a fool.
That's below the belt.
So for me, it's about what can you do? And that's the challenge. So we need to start flipping. I remember many years ago, you've heard about that the more you have stomach, the better the more the richer you. Well, things are changing. So I'm thinking that we should make sure the audience know that there's a difference between value, experience, and longevity. So
did you hear that?
Yeah. So if you focus on because I'm the longest serving staff, you are running on gunpowder, you're sitting on a gunpowder. When they blows up around you feel you've been deceived. And that's not the issue. What value are you adding more? So companies will still come back to what's adding value to them. And will determine what they want to, because the world, the competitors you are fighting, is about value. Let's take, for example, of this story. I love this story a lot. This guy had skills, and that's David. But he has not fought. He has not been fighting war before. But he has what it takes to come and solve a national problem. That's value. Then he came. He has not done military training. But the Goliath they were fighting, he had the skill, he had everything. Immediately, when he wanted to come, they said, you're a small boy, get out. We can't pay you well. But when he solved the problem, they were amazed. And they made him the king. So when you look at this, it's been there for long.
Sure.
That it's not about longevity. And you could see how young ones, Joseph, David, a lot of people that in the stories we've read in the Bible, make us see that it is value. Look at how that guy was fired, the second in command to the MD of Egypt. When Joseph solved the problem, they fired that guy and put Joseph there.
Value.
So value, and the only way you can sustain your organization for 7 years or 14 years is because you put someone of value. But if you had not fired that person, Egypt would have gone down.
Sure.
So this is how to say.
And you know what I think? I think that protocols sometimes are also the bottlenecks, because a lot of people in the companies will believe, no, this is how we've been doing it for thousands of years, so we can't just start now.
Left
because
that
of that.
era.
Exactly.
You see, companies should start rethinking.
Exactly.
These guys are jackpotting. These guys are moving. Because everybody's going to where their value can be rewarded.
Right.
And if you don't keep value, then your company, nobody will pay your company for value. So what determines how much people are willing to pay to your organization is the value you're bringing.
Exactly.
And the number of value you have, number of good heads. So what determines whether you have good staff is not number of staff you have. It's number of good heads you have in your organization.
Sometimes they say 2 heads are better than none, but now they say 2 good heads are better
good
than one.
Heads are better than one.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ajibala. It's been
You're
very
welcome.
insightful. Like I say, this podcast generally is always insightful, entertaining, and I just don't like the questions you always throw at me. But anyways, there you have it. Now, don't forget, there is a huge difference between value, experience, and longevity. Nigerians, longevity is not experience. So you should learn to reward value so you don't lose your high performers. Well, that's it on today's episode of Ceed Chat, brought to you by Ceed Academy. For more of this interesting and insightful episodes, do well to check us on our YouTube and also across our social media platforms. We are Ceed Academy. You see what I did there? We are Ceed Academy. But anyways, it's not complicated. Just type We Are Ceed Academy and you find us there. Follow us, drop your comments, whatever you want us to talk about on the next episode, we'll definitely do justice to it, because this is one of your favorite podcasts on the planet, if I do say so myself. Till I come your way again next time, my name is Blessings Mosugu. Do have a lovely, lovely day. Bye.
Ceed Academy, your growth partner.